Every January, the cycle returns. A new goal, a burst of motivation, a system built on intensity. For a few weeks, it works. Then the structure breaks. Quietly. Start, collapse, reset, repeat. Most people call this weak discipline. Usually it is unstable design. The effort is real, the system is fragile. The mistake begins with motivation. People treat it like a permanent fuel source. It is not. When emotional energy fades, the habit loses the force carrying it. Then comes the familiar response, I need more willpower. But the issue was never desire. The system depended entirely on unstable input. So when friction appears, the person cannot adapt the structure, only restart it. High effort was mistaken for durable design. This is where most people freeze. But at Solver's Studio, we go to our toolkit, the Solver's 6. The tool here is contrast analysis decision. This framework exposes the hidden trade behind repeated outcomes. Two paths, the unstable path and the sustainable one. Most resolutions rely on motivation dependence. The stable path relies on low negotiation system design, short-term intensity versus long-term continuity. Once the contrast becomes visible, the decision changes. First, define the real cost of the restart cycle. The visible failure is one abandoned routine. The actual failure is years of interrupted progress. Map the pattern clearly. High emotional energy starts the system. Energy fades, the structure collapses. That reveals the truth. The habit did not fail from lack of commitment. It failed because it lacked stabilization. Next, define the stable path. The system must survive without motivation. If the goal is fitness, the answer is not extreme workouts. It is the smallest routine that survives resistance. A walk, a short session, a low negotiation action. Now the contrast becomes obvious. One path depends on emotion, the other depends on structural consistency. The high motivation path reveals itself as the highest risk path. Finally, institutionalize the sustainable version. Protect the baseline. If the system is 10 minutes of walking, do 10 minutes, even on high energy days. Why? Because uncontrolled intensity destroys rhythm. The goal is not maximum effort, it is repeatability. Stable systems survive emotional fluctuation. Contrast analysis decision changes how habits are built. First, expose the collapse cycle. Second, contrast the unstable and stable paths. Third, commit to the low negotiation system. Progress built on unstable energy always breaks. Progress built on resilient structure compounds. The same pattern appears at work. Someone leaves a burnout job searching for balance, then recreates the same overload within months. Why? Because the structural decisions stayed the same. Short bursts of output replaced sustainable boundaries. They relied on energy instead of design. Contrast analysis changes the system before pressure arrives. The real decision becomes clear: performance spikes or stable operational boundaries. The structure determines the outcome long before exhaustion appears. The annual resolution cycle is not proof of weak character. It is proof of unstable architecture. People keep choosing the emotional high of restarting over the discipline of sustainable structure. But permanent progress is never built on temporary intensity. It is built on systems designed to survive fluctuation. The goal is not endless motivation. It is a structure that no longer depends on it.